Hi, welcome to this episode of Cook and Chat with the Bellas. I am your host, Funke Bella, aka Mrs. Fabulous, aka Fabulous Funky, the one and only wife of MC Tunde Bella. Welcome to my kitchen. If this is your first time here, welcome! And if you're a returning subscriber and you're back for more, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. We upload a cooking tutorial video every Friday, especially for you. So please consider subscribing. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today I've got this colorful, fabulous butterfly print dress that I got from MyFruitfulFingers ETSY store. MyFruitfulFingers is a UK-based company that specializes in making and selling women's outfits and accessories. I'll leave a link in the description box below how you can get one for the hot summer day or one for your holiday luggage. So ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode of Cook and Chat with the Bellas, we're continuing with the Men That Cook series. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, if you're not sitting down, this is the time for you to pull your chair, pull it close and sit down, because I've got a fine, young, tall, dark and handsome gentleman in this kitchen that is going to show us how it's supposed to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grandpas and grandmas, neighbors, call your friends, call everybody, and welcome with me into the Bella's kitchen for the very first time, Fola! Ladies and gentlemen, I said tall, check. Ladies and gentlemen, I said dark, check. Ladies and gentlemen, I said handsome. Take a look at Fola. Welcome into the Bella's kitchen. Can you please introduce yourself to our beautiful audience?
Thank you very much, Funke, for the generous introduction. Beautiful audience, my name is Fola Saki Oyeleye. I work as a project coordinator for the London District of the Methodist Church. I'm also a part-time theology student at Spurgeon's College in London. Thank
you so much for being in our kitchen today. Thank you for being here to cook for us. So can you please tell us, what would you be cooking for us in the kitchen today? What would you be making?
So today we're going to be making spaghetti bolognese. For me, the story of the spaghetti bolognese started in 2013, actually.
Tell us.
One of my friends called Tilonese, shout out to Tilonese.
Shout out to Tilonese.
She invited us, myself and another friend, for dinner. And she made this really nice food. And I thought, oh, Tilonese, can you please teach us or teach me how to make spaghetti bolognese? And ever since then, since 2013, wow, I've been serving spaghetti bolognese. So yes, there you go. That's the origin of my spaghetti bolognese.
Lovely. Tell us, what are the ingredients that we need to make the perfect Fola's spaghetti bolognese? Okay,
so you have the Domio's bolognese sauce.
Okay.
You can easily get this from your local retailer or supermarket. So Sainsbury's, Tesco, all of them, they serve that. Morrison's, they do have that. Shout out to Morrison.
Shout out Morrison.
And then you have your 5% fat minced meat. Now, the reason why I go for the 5% fat option is so that when you're frying it, the fats from the food or from the minced meat doesn't drench the bolognese later on. So that's the reason why we go for the 5% fat. And so the other things we need is a red pepper, a green pepper. Again, you can get this from your local supermarkets, or you can go to the market and get that. And then you've got your white onions, and then you've got your normal eggs as well. And then you've got your spaghetti. I tend to use Napolina. Again, you can use any other brand, but again, this is what Tilonese taught me to use from the onset, so I've always kept to the script. And then
So I was just gonna say that if you're going to follow this recipe, you might as well just follow it to the letter. So Fola has perfected the art of this spaghetti bolognese since 2013. So watch and learn.
And if I can second what Funke has also said, right? I've had to test this on so many people. And in fact, I've used it as a sermon outline as well. And so there you go. It's been tested and tried over the years. So you can guarantee that it's going to work.
That's it. Perfect. So thank you for agreeing to cook this on Cook and Chat with the Bellas today. Thank you so much. What do we do first? What are we going to do first? Okay,
so what we're going to do first is we're going to cut pepper into very small chunks, almost like cubes.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to use the knife to do the cutting. Again, just be mindful of your finger. So I'll cut that in the middle. Take out the seeds. That way, whilst you're eating, it doesn't come into your food, okay? So put that into somewhere you can store away. Take out the seed from the other part that I've cut as well. And then in terms of the cutting, you initially slice it into strips.
I like your knife skills.
Thank you very much. In fact, I learned from my niece that usually when you cut in with knife, you try to cut it away from your finger so that way you don't cut yourself.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So good advice.
You put into long, tiny or slim strips. And then once you've done that, and then you can then cut it into cubes. Okay.
Okay.
And then you just repeat the process for the other strips as well.
Okay, and then we'll get through all the peppers.
Indeed, yes, we'll do exactly for the remaining pepper as well.
Okay. Nice.
So how do you cut pepper when you're doing it then?
It depends on what I'm doing.
Okay.
If I'm not using a food processor or mini chopper or machine that does it, I hardly cut things manually. Oh, wow. I use a gadget.
I guess this is where the benefit of doing this again and again comes in, because I know you've talked about this idea of... You've mastered the art. You know, once you've done it so many times, you've kind of, it becomes natural to you.
Look, it's coming natural to me. Let me not end up in A&E with the... I don't think my colleagues will be best pleased to see me there tonight.
No. But what I find interesting is I think with the food tech that young people go through in the UK, they teach them the knife skills.
They do.
Because in the past, whenever I used to cut banana, I do it this way. And
I still do it that way.
Yeah, but that's the issue. You can potentially cut yourself. And so my niece said, oh, you need to cut away from your finger. That way.
Oh, wow. I think we all need to learn a bit more from your niece.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's one of those things that, you know, growing up as children in Nigeria, we tend to learn what we see, and that's the way we've all been taught. And
plus, I didn't do food nutrition or home economics.
Oh, I see.
I didn't do any of those at school. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Fola and I went to the same primary school. Fola, shall I insert a picture for the audience?
In fact, I think that might be a good way to take them down the memory lane. Yes, yes.
So we go way back. We go way back. And thanks for agreeing to do this with us, Fola.
Oh, thanks for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're now done cutting up all the peppers and the onions. And look, we cut them manually with a knife and chopping board. Isn't that lovely? It was so nice chopping with Fola. Fola's got really, really good knife skills. And he was sharing with me that your niece taught you a little bit of your knife skills. So great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So Fola, what do we do next? Now that we've got the peppers and the onion chopped up, what do we do next, please?
So now we will turn on our burner. So if you've got a gas cooker at home, you can just always turn it on. So I'll turn that on, and I'll probably put it on medium-high heat. And then I will also drench it a little bit with a bit of oil, and that's my way of just making sure I line.
Any oil?
Any oil. So my favorite one is usually 100% rapeseed oil. Okay. As a way of me just trying to continue on a very healthy living. Yes.
We might as well be healthy. Indeed. You know, it's our body. Somebody has to look after it. That's if not us, then who?
Then who? And then once the oil has heated up a little, and then we'll just pour in the onions that we've chopped as well as the pepper that we've chopped into the wok. And then we're ready to go. Thank you. We're going to use this later.
Okay.
To collect it once it's fully cooked. And so you just make sure you keep stirring all the time. that way, at least the heat of the wok is evenly spread throughout what you're cooking.
Right. So Fola, I was gonna ask you. I know. You're not shy to talk about being single. What is an inappropriate question that I can ask a single person? Because I worry that I say the wrong thing. Tell me, what is that thing that I can't say?
Well, I think for a lot of single people, there isn't any bounds in terms of the questions you can ask. I think single people just want to make sure you are empathetic about their story. And so if somebody has been looking to God for a long time, they just want to understand that actually this person understands my story. So I don't think there's any question that is off bounds for single people.
So if I ask a question like, are you ready to mingle now?
Ooh, that's a very direct question. And the reason I say that's a very direct question, it means you have to do something about it. So if I was to respond to that question, maybe yes. Maybe yes.
It depends.
It depends. Yes.
It all depends on guidance and what you feel led to do, isn't it?
In a way. And also, I suppose with the lockdown, I think for a lot of us, we've become jaded. And also maybe we've stuck into a particular routine of not going out. And so the idea of just meeting somebody new becomes quite difficult. Yeah.
But the lockdown is lifting now, so we're going out.
Indeed, we're going out. We're going out. We're going out.
But tell me, what does it feel like being a matured single man? What are the challenges? What are the main, apart from the annoying aunties that bug you, what are the real main challenges?
I think I'm quite fortunate because I know you mentioned the annoying aunties. I'm quite fortunate that my family, they're quite understanding. But in terms of the challenges, I'm not sure whether we're allowed to say this on set. Are there any children watching? Whether this is appropriate, but you know, I think for me at the moment, the biggest challenge, especially because I'm also a Christian, is the issue of celibacy. I think that's where the biggest challenge is, in terms of making sure one is keeping oneself pure until one is married. And I would say perhaps that's the most difficult aspect. Because biologically, it's almost as though your body's raging, your hormones are raging. They're like, give me this thing, give me this thing. You know, Lord, how long? Why me? You know, is this meant to be hard? So so I think that's what I find to be the most challenging parts of singleness. So
Well, interesting. Thanks for sharing, because you know, it takes a lot to share.
It does. And
information like that.
I tell you, but what I'm finding nowadays is a lot of us single people, we're very much open about, you know, our challenges. And that takes away the pressure of, you know, just feeling as though you're the only one bearing the burden of, you know, your singleness. You know, so sometimes I do have friends that I will say, dude, I mean, seriously, this
you're
thing,
single,
man.
You're not dying.
Well, we're not dying. Might not be wood, as people would joke. But you know, and I think the fact that you have people that you can talk about these things to makes a huge difference to relieve the pressure as well. So that's. I
was also gonna ask if somebody came up to you for an advice, because you're a man of God. How would you advise a single man or woman that has been waiting and feels like, God, when, God, why, God, you know, those questions keep popping up. What are the words that you? Because you can see from your point of view and from your line of calling, you can advise and guide and, you know, support. What would you tell, in a couple of words, what would you tell a single matured person out there? What would you say to them?
Yeah, that's a bit difficult, because I mean I have the benefit of being older. I'm 37, and so I think age is a good factor. It's giving me experience in that way. And so if somebody was to say to me, oh, you don't understand, I would say, no, I understand. I've been on this journey for a while. And so to some extent, that gives me the benefit of being able to advise. But in terms of a word of encouragement, I would just say, you know, if you're a Christian, God sees it. He understands. And, you know, I guess as a Christian, you've had benefits of seeing God move in other aspects of your life. And so in those moments of doubts, those moments of uncertainties, those moments of, okay, why God, why me, you know, you can always reflect on the times when God has moved in your life and realize actually perhaps, you know, God is doing something here. It just hasn't happened yet. And that's one of the ways in which I sort of encourage myself oftentimes, that, you know, if God has moved in another aspect of my life, then he definitely knows about this area. So I just have to trust him that something would indeed work out.
And I think that's a very useful message for any single brother or sister, as we like to call them out there. Because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean God is not working on it. No. Because if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, you know that all things work together for good, and in God's good time, things fall in place. So it's just a word of encouragement to you out there. If you're waiting on the Lord for the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh, God is working on it. God is working on it.
But I'll tell you a joke, right? I remember once I told a minister that I'm waiting on God. Guess what the minister said? The minister said to me, God is waiting on you. And what that means in reality is, sometimes as single people as well, we need to be proactive. Yeah. As people will say, shine your eyes. I know. Which means when you go to party, shoot your shots. Yeah. And that sometimes, now that's what I say to myself, Fola, if you really want to get married, you need to do something about it. You can't keep praying in your room. But yeah, God is on the throne. God is on the throne. God is on the throne. So usually, whenever I fry the onions and the pepper, I usually fry for about 15 minutes. Okay. And that's just because personally, I don't like the smell of uncooked onions when I'm eating. I don't like the smell or the taste of uncooked onions either, yeah. So you tend to feel the smell the most, especially when you belch. And so as a way of just eliminating that unnecessary odor, I cook it for about 15 minutes. That way, it's fully cooked, and
it still retains its crunch. It's not
exactly.
Yeah.
And the good thing as well about buying the pepper from the likes of, let's say, Morrison and so on, is they're quite crunchy. And so literally, whenever you're having your bolognese, you can feel the crunch and taste the ingredients. I mean, what I like about the fact that I've used the red pepper and the green pepper is it's almost like they've got two opposite tastes. It's almost like you have this sweet and sour feel to it. So on one hand, the red pepper is sweet. On the other hand, the green pepper is a bit soury. And so it just gives that, contrast whenever you are having your bolognese. So I
can't wait to eat this bolognese, Fola.
I'm also very hungry too. It's a shame for our guests at home that all you can hear is
they can see it, but they can't
taste it. Yeah, they can see it. They can see the steam coming out, but yeah, unfortunately on this occasion you can't quite taste it. But they can always make the same. They can try it. Exactly. Yeah. So we are ready to move on to the next one.
Okay, so we're done stir frying and they look so yummy. I feel like I should try some, but I wouldn't. And ladies and gentlemen, do you notice that we now have aprons on? We just got carried away chatting and having a good time, and we forgot that we planned to wear aprons. So hence the apron.
Good network.
So we're gonna carry on with our cooking now. So Fola, what do we do next? Now that we've got this bit ready, what do we do next?
So now that we've finished frying the onions and the pepper, what we will now do is we'll try to cook the meat, and we'll do exactly the same thing as what we've done for the onion and the pepper. So we start off by putting a bit of oil on the wok. So we'll put a bit of oil on the wok, again just to line the surface of the wok, and then we'll add mincemeat. And do not forget, we've got this nice cube. Not cube that will sprinkle all over mincemeat. And again, for my purposes, I do not put any salt, just because I feel that the seasoning on this is good enough, and also the seasoning on the domio does the job as well. Yeah.
So we don't need any salt. I keep going on about cutting down on your salt. This is another dish that you don't even need salt at all. So way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
And I've never actually used salt ever in making this. Okay. So I'll turn it upside down. Take away the paper that is used to line it. If you can help me put that in the bin, please. And what I'm doing now is just I'm unwrapping the is it Knorr cube or Maggi? Yeah, no, it's Knorr. Yeah. Where are you? And then again, I'll just sprinkle this all over it. And this is what gives it a bit of a flavor as well. And so I'll just use the wooden spoon as a way of just breaking it up a little. Again, that way every aspect of the minced meat gets fried into this as well.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can you see Fola's hands as he's going? You're so good at this. What do you think about men cooking generally? What's your take on men that cook? Because this series is all about men that cook. We're celebrating men like Fola that we've got on the show today. Men that cook. What's your take? What do you have to say to? Let's start with what do you have to say to men that don't cook?
Bro, get a recipe book and learn. And learn.
That's it. Okay. As simple as that. Or learn something simple. Have your own signature
dish. And I think, because I remember before we started this, one of the things we said was, with some of us men, we know to cook exactly the same thing, okay? So for example, for me, this is my signature dish, okay? And so I've cooked this so many times that now, if I know I've got some special guests to us, I'll be like, do you want to try my spaghetti bolognese?
And that's the line that never fails you.
And it never fails me,
there you go.
Just because I've done it so many times now.
I know, you've mastered the art of it.
Yeah.
So I think all the other men watching now, you should have your own dish, your master dish, that if they say Fola is cooking, you'll be like, Fola is making spaghetti bolognese, yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you, in my local church, right, there's this thing about, have you tried Fola's spaghetti bolognese?
Oh, wow.
And that's just because that's the only thing I know how to cook. I mean, I lie, but this is the only thing I know how to cook very well, if I can say so myself.
And that's the thing with most men. Tunde can make atadidin, and that's about the only thing that he can make. At least he's mastered the art of that. Indeed. And he makes it perfectly every time. So I think every man out there should have their signature dish that they can do without even thinking about it.
Yeah, and I find that for some people as well, some women especially, they like it when they're men able to throw something down. I know traditionally people tend to think of the men being good when it comes to doing the barbecue. But we don't have to always wait until the summertime before we throw it down in the kitchen.
There might not be a summertime.
There might not be a summertime. The British weather, as it is, it changes very often.
So as I always say, women like it when men cook. So women do the majority of the cooking most of the time in most homes. But the odd day where the man says, sit down, I'll make you something. That's just, you've just done it.
It makes a
huge
difference.
You've just got brownie points here, there, and everywhere for her. So another top tip.
There you go. And I hear my mom say as well that my father, whenever she's been to work and she comes back home, my father would have cooked for her, and she really does appreciate the fact that he's able to cook. He's able to make the stew, he's able to make the rice, he's able to make the eforiro and all kinds of things. And so it does add to our arsenal of being romantic as well.
Exactly, it does. It really does. Imagine breakfast in bed. You have to be able to make it to bring it into bed. So
indeed, yes. And so sorry, Funke, you can notice now that the color has changed. It's gone from pink to brown, and it's gone to brown, and that's a sign that it's getting well done. Okay. So as soon as we finish cooking this, we just have the bolognese sauce into it. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, what you will notice now is the color of the minced meat has changed from pink to brown, which for me it's a sign that it's ready, it's fully cooked. And so what I do now is I then had my 2 Domio sauces.
And you can use any flavor.
Yes, you can use any flavor. The reason I go for the spicy chili is just to give it a bit of kick or a bit of pepper as well. And that's okay. So if I can please give that to you to recycle, please.
To recycle.
So we're doing our bit to help the environment.
Yes. So.
And then I have the second one. And then at this stage, I might just reduce the heat. Okay. That way I can get the spaghetti ready on the side. Okay. So actually, you notice that the sound has changed, and that's just because it's trying to cook all the way around. Yeah. Okay,
so our bolognese sauce is bubbling away on the burner, just there away. So while it's doing that, we're gonna carry on with the rest of our meal tonight.
That's right, yeah. So what we try to do is, or what I try to do very often, is making sure that whilst the bolognese is cooking, I'm also cooking the spaghetti. That way, by the time one is done, the other one is also
ready at the same time.
So done. Yeah. So what we've done so far is we poured boiling water into the saucepan.
Take that?
Yes, please. We're going to put it back in a moment. Okay. And then with the spaghetti, you just add whatever you think you might need. Okay,
depending on how many people you're feeding.
Depending on how many people you're feeding. So again, I tend to use my eyes to measure things. And I tend to cut it in half. In half.
But the Italians, they don't do that.
Oh, really? Yes. Yes, sorry. I've developed this habit.
But this is Fola's way. So.
Indeed, yes. It just makes it also easier when you're eating it.
Yeah, it does. I don't like it when it's too long.
When it's too long, then you have to introduce a spoon and then spin it around with a fork. Yeah. It just makes it, you know, it takes away the joy from the eating.
We don't want to take away the joy.
We won't tell our Italian friends, but yeah. And then I usually add just a bit of oil. Okay. As a way of just making sure that the spaghetti
doesn't stick together.
It doesn't stick together. That's the one.
And no salt.
With this one, I think it's sometimes you put salt. So sometimes I do put salt occasionally. Now I'm adding
egg.
Yes, yes. Now this came about because I cooked again my spaghetti bolognese for a couple. They're from Ghana, and they said, "Oh, Fola, where's the egg?"
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought.
I know. I'm not sure whether it's a Ghanaian thing or it's people from every part of the world do this. But then ever since then,
you always put an egg.
Put egg, yes.
Okay. So put an egg in this to complete the dish.
To complete the dish.
Okay.
Now the reason why we put in more than one egg is just because there's so many of us going to be eating this. I think there's about 4 of us eating it.
And we're all hungry. We can't wait to eat this.
Yes.
Hurry up, Fola.
I'm just praying it's worth the wait as well.
Of course it would. Yeah.
Just be mindful that whenever you put in raw eggs into boiling water, sometimes it might crack, just because of the sudden temperature change. But in our case, that's why I'm putting it in gradually as well. Yeah. Again, with the salt, it's not a lot, so I've just put a very, very small amount.
Tiny amount.
Again, that's just to allow a bit of flavor inside the bolognese. So, sorry, inside the spaghetti, pardon me. Okay. And that's it.
And we just allow that to cook.
We allow that to cook. Again, I tend to use my eyes to gauge it, but sometimes maybe about 10 to 15 minutes you do.
Okay.
Every now and then you just taste it just to make sure it's done what you want it to do.
Al dente.
Exactly. So it's not too crunchy and it's not too soft. It's somewhere in between. That's the
we'll get that perfect balance. Okay, so our spaghetti is simmering away. Now we carry on with the bolognese.
That's right, yes. So with the bolognese sauce, I've added that into the minced meat. And so the final step is now to add cooked pepper with the onions into the cooking sauce. And so once I've added that, all I have to do is now stir. Let nothing go to waste. Okay. Every little matters, as they say, Tesco. You know,
Tesco.
Every little helps. So I just make sure that nothing goes to waste. So with that added in, and then finally, I'll just stir that together.
Oh wow, it's looking so yummy already.
It is looking yummy, and it does smell yummy as well. It's a shame that you can't. So
ladies and gentlemen, it's a shame that you can't taste it, but it smells delicious, it looks delicious. I cannot wait to taste it. Thank you so much, Fola. Thank you for showing us how to make this delicious spaghetti bolognese.
You're most welcome. It'll be nice to hear your feedback as well.
Yeah, please leave your comment in the comment section below. How do you think Fola did? His knife skills, 100%. I give him 100%. And look at how he's holding it with so much confidence. He's not even worrying that the thing's gonna spill. It's just look at him. So put in the comment section below, what do you think?
And this is the joy of being a male and having just one almost like a favorite dish.
Yeah.
You've done it so many times.
You're an expert.
You can actually do it in your sleep as well. So there you go. So again, we'll just let this cook a little bit just to make sure that the bolognese sauce gets inside the pepper. And then we're good to go.
Wow. We're nearly done now.
We are
Ladies
nearly
and gentlemen, you really cannot wait to see the end result of this beautiful dish.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now done. Our spaghetti is cooked al dente and our bolognese sauce is beautifully cooked by Fola. Thank you so much. So we're going to serve it into a plate now because we're starving and we can't wait to eat this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now done. Thank you so much for staying with us all the way to the end. Thank you so much, Fola. Thank you for seriously, I can't wait. I don't understand how I'm still standing up to do this outro because I can't wait to dig into this spaghetti bolognese. It looks so good. It smells so good and I can't wait. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing us and thank you for the handy tips that you've shared with the other single brothers and sisters out there. Thank you so much and thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So on behalf of the Bellas, we would like to present you with a small gift just to say thank you for being our special guest on Cook and Chat with the Bellas. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was not expecting this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mrs. Bella. Thank you very much, Mr. Bella. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's very kind.
Thank you. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, please do. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, and if you'd like to say something about Fola's great cooking skills, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. So Fola, let us dig in, because this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The moment of truth.
Indeed.
Oh, can't wait. And the veggies are still crunchy and